true, I'm a huge fan of SG1, Stargate Atlantis, and Stargate Universe in general. And it's true, I'm about to welcome onto the stage one of my childhood heroes. And this time, I'm not going to scream, and I'm not going to cry again. So, it brings me great pleasure to welcome back to New Zealand the man who brought you Dr. Radek Zelenka, Tilt, and Colonel, promoted to Lieutenant General Jack O'Neill, Manukau! Make some noise for David Knuckle, Christopher Judge, and Richard Dean in this
I don't know, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know, what do you guys want to talk about? All that work we did together. All right. Hey, family portrait.
Wow. You just hit the ground running, huh? Don't even warm into it.
First time I met Chris, he was larger than he is now. He's just a massive human being, gorgeous human being. He is now, he's leaned out a little bit, but I wish he'd start working out a little bit.
Hey, he is, I can attest to that. I saw him this morning.
Don't you care?
I do.
Cool. What do you eat?
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
Scotch. Pick one.
I'm pretty much on a completely seafood diet. Yeah, I eat seafood and I eat it.
Good one.
So, if you've got any questions for our guys, please, come on down. You've got Moesha over there, you've got Lehman over here.
Did you say Moesha?
Moesha, yeah.
How did you get a black girl's name? You're what? Oh, okay, Tommy. So your last name's not Jackson, is it?
Use the microphone. You got a question? Hello, sir.
Hello.
I saw an interview you did a while back saying that you got into acting and at the food truck found out that they fed you Twinkies. I have Twinkies.
I'm not going to act.
We'll do anything now.
I will roll over them. Sit up. Where'd you get those?
Online.
Twinkies don't expire. They live forever. They survive a nuclear blast. You can eat those anytime.
Are these originals? Like, have you been saving them since the 60s?
No. Got them last week.
Thank you so much. Hard as a rock.
Oh, there's no place good to go now.
In my day, they were much bigger than this. They were.
They're pretty tiny, aren't they?
We all were.
We were all Twinkies.
Thank you, Twinkies. I'm gonna save those.
Hiya. Sorry, over here. My name is Molly, and as you can tell, I'm SG1.
Oh, wait a second.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not Atlantis. I do apologize for that.
It's okay, we'll talk later.
My question is for whoever can be bothered answering this. What was one of the hardest things you had to do on Stargate?
Oh, me?
It's just anyone who can want to answer it.
Anybody who was on Stargate? Paul Amanda or something? Who here was on Stargate? The hardest thing? I didn't do anything hard on that show. I mean, I was lazy. Everybody else had to do all the talking. And that was the hardest thing I had to do, was actually learn lines. No, they gave people who could like learn things, like Michael and Amanda both had the knack for long speeches with technical baloney and they made the mistake of proving that they could do it. I, on the other hand, proved I couldn't, so they stopped writing it. But hardest, do you have a hardship?
For me, it was coming in either halfway sober or only halfway hungover.
So getting up in the morning.
Yeah.
Just getting there.
It took me all 10 seconds to learn my lines. Thank you, O'Neill.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Were you indeed, or was that Trek?
No, that was Michael Dorn. No, you're right.
Where am I?
These guys have it so easy. It's like Jason Momoa on our show. He had the same kind of lines too. What? Zero. Paragraphs and paragraphs.
Didn't even come close to answering your question. It wasn't a hard show to be on.
It was awesome.
Talk to the aliens. The guys who had to play the aliens.
Hi there. First, I'll apologise for my ruined voice. I'm getting over a cold. I want to know, what was the most fun episode to film, and on the opposite side, what was the hardest emotionally to film?
Emotion.
Of what do you speak, O'Neill?
Yes.
What is this thing you call emotion?
What is this thing you speak of? Emotion.
We did an episode where we were, one of the hard ones was when they do the zero G, the zero gravity in the spacesuits. That was kind of cool. We had like a crane that would that lifted you up, and they overcranked the camera, so it would look like when they played it at regular speed that you're doing stuff on space. And they gave us Formula One cooling vests underneath the spacesuit because it was so hot. We filmed in August, which is summer in the northern hemisphere, and it was so hot in those suits. So again, that's kind of about the hardest. It was hot. It's not, as Richard said, it's not a hard show. It was a lot of fun to do. It was a real pleasure to work there.
God, they started spending money after I left.
Cooling
Yes, cooling vests. Yeah, that's what we did.
Great.
Well, you paved the way for us.
Yeah.
You did.
And the most fun to film?
I had no.
I don't think these guys remember.
Well, I like working with Chris a lot because we had this ongoing fart contest.
I won! I had the under. Oh, the under.
Eventually, I handed my crown to this man right here. But we did have one incident where he knew that I mean, it kind of took me to break the wind, break the ice as far as letting natural things happen in public. So you don't shut down production, go outside, do your business, come back in, leaving a trail. Hey, what good is that? But Chris and I had a scene where we started in an elevator. It's just a box, basically prop elevator. And these doors open, as elevators do. And we were in there kind of chatting away, and it was like rolling. And I zipped one off, and we were stuck in there for the last few seconds before action. And we came out, and it was just wafting. And neither one of us could keep a straight face on it. In fact, he started running. from that point on, he just took the mantle and ran with it. He's champion to this day.
I've heard the
Rick
story.
is my mentor. And Rick doesn't know, but he actually, because of his prolificness, forced me to change my diet to keep up. So he doesn't know this, but every night before I would go to bed, I would eat a bowl of Fiber One, topped by Slim Fast, topped by Benefiber. The results were explosive.
Truly.
All right, thanks guys, and welcome back to New Zealand.
Thank you. That was also the most emotional I've ever been.
Fiber will do that to you. It really brings the tears to your eyes.
Hi guys, I'm Luis. I did have some good questions about getting up here. I like seeing you guys. Like as a kid, you guys were my biggest, you were my heroes. But Richard, you've got to be my favorite because of MacGyver. So I've got two questions. The first one was, what was your favorite moment doing MacGyver?
139 episodes, 7.5 years of my life, nonstop. What, you want one moment? It was, I have to admit that the whole thing, the whole experience, or let me speak of it as an entity unto itself. It was so much fun. It happened at a point in my life where I was, I guess, ready to make a career of that thing. And I was lucky enough to be cast in this role that just let me play and do things and do stunts and break my back, so I have problems today and to this very day. And I don't know, the whole experience was just spectacular. Any episode, can't really. I got to do any stunts that I felt I could do, which was a mistake. And, but I don't know, what?
They let you do stunts back then? Like, I mean, did you not have a stuntman or?
Oh yeah, stuntman, and they,
Yeah, right.
Or was it, there was one of the first episodes we ever shot of, what was it? MacGyver. We used to do these little, one act, not even one act, just like a scene before the main body of it. And we stopped doing those because it was not cost effective. But they were kind of like a James Bond movie where they had one big stunt. One of the first ones we shot was, I'll skip to the chase. I'm on a horse racing down a beach. A helicopter comes behind and I grab the hook and put it on the saddle and it takes off. Anybody remember that? Yeah. It was spectacular. And I got to do everything but fly away with it. They took the horse away from me when the helicopter actually lifted the horse and started taking away. I was so pissed, so pissed. There was no way to start a career with MacGyver, but it was that kind of stuff that just made the whole experience a joy.
I thought you were going to say the episode I did with you. But
You did an episode?
yeah, that's
Chris is so demoralized and depressed and just so forsaken that I don't remember doing an episode with him. They had to show me pictures to prove that.
truly, he's not kidding. Our first meeting, so as an actor just starting out in his career, to get a MacGyver was kind of a big deal. So I was very nervous about working with and meeting Rick. So the first thing that I had with Rick was a stunt where he flips me over his shoulder onto my back. So I did the rehearsals with his stunt double, Dan Shea. And So Rick came on the set, and the first day, AD says, you know, Mr. Richard Dean Anderson, no. And so the scene was we're like two linemen, I'm a lineman, and he's at that would be a much smaller lineman, and he's demonstrating to me how leverage works, the Archimedes principles. So when we finally get down to face, I'm so nervous and scared that I am dripping sweat. And Rick hasn't really made eye contact with me yet. So, action. Rick looks up at me and lets the longest, biggest fart I ever.
Seriously?
Seriously. That was my introduction to Richard Dean Anderson.
Welcome. Seems to be a theme here today. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. Oh.
You haven't smelled it.
Yeah, you don't know what you're thinking about.
So my second question isn't really a question. I don't know if I'm actually allowed to do this, but I was wondering if I could come up stage and take a photo of you guys with all the fans in the background.
Absolutely not. What are you out of your mind? No, I don't think that's going to be a policy that anybody's... Yeah, if we do it once, everybody's going to have to come down. So let's... No. We'll have to get together later.
Okay. So are you going to give me a number? Or?
Swipe left. Just go to the token booth. Get yourself a token, get a picture with them.
I'm having the hardest time understanding. First of all, the echo, but also, you've got a dialect. You're the only one in this room that has it. Ron? Yeah. G'day. Hi. Oh no, that's... My apologies. Sincerely. Kiwis. Kangaroos.
Hi, this is for Richard. So my nana would tell me about years ago when...
Your nana?
My nana. So my nana would tell me years ago that her and the rest of the family would sit down and watch MacGyver together as a family every time. And today is her birthday, and I was wondering if I call her, you could wish her a happy birthday, because she would absolutely love that.
She would?
Yeah.
Quiet! How about if we do that after the yeah, let's do it after the show.
Okay.
Or now? What's her real name? It's not Anna.
Her name is Delwyn.
Stella?
Delwyn.
Delwyn?
Yep, Delwyn.
Why does your nana have a black name?
Dial her up.
And if it goes to answer phone, just leave her a message. I'm sure she'll answer. Better answer to MacGyver. Okay.
What if she's reading a call?
Seriously?
Here we go.
Gotta leave a message? Is that right? It's ringing. Delwyn? Let me make speakerphone. It is? Jeez. Come on, beep. Oh, it did? Oh, hi. Hi, Anna. It's Richard Dean Anderson. Why aren't you home? What are you doing? Does she drink? Oh, there you go. Nana, happy birthday. Delvin. How old is she? Your grandson? Tyler has no idea how old you are. I'm gonna guess you're in your early 60s. From the looks of Tyler, maybe not. Listen, happy birthday, my dear. I would never forgive your grandson for this. Too bad it's not FaceTime, right? But anyway, folks, let's all just give her a big happy birthday. Anybody else's birthday? Grandparents? You bet. $20.
Hi. My question is for Christopher. In the first couple of episodes, when you had to wear the brown outfit, was it heavy and uncomfortable? The big snake. Yeah.
I didn't wear that
Unless you're not called Christopher.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
thing. It's difficult.
What were the outfits?
Yeah. Was it uncomfortable to wear all day?
Oh God, no. They were horrible. And the only ones that they actually washed were mine and Tony's. So the other ones that you would see the Legion of Jaffa wearing would go a year without being washed. So,
You guys were like the most pungent show in history, weren't you?
does pungent mean stinky? Yes, we were. So, you know, in the summers, the smell was unbearable. It was, they were restrictive, hot, sweaty, stinky, chafy. No, but they were okay. No, they were. And you know, Tony and I were lucky because they really did try to make ours as comfortable as possible. But the rest of them, they just really didn't care. I mean, it's not that they didn't care, but they had to, look a certain way. The reason I didn't wash them was because they were painted with silver paint. I guess that's going to be some lead lawsuits. Yeah, it was made of really heavy wool and then spray painted silver with the kind of goldy highlights. And the collars, the collars were a very, very heavy rubber, and as were the majority of helmets, except for the actual working ones, which Ray Douglas got. So the original working helmet, it would like open and close in like 1/100th of a second or something like that. So they molded it off of Ray's head, not mine. So the first time that we tested it, caught the end of my nose, and
Well, you can see.
But it also weighed 70 pounds and had no neck support. Like I just had to wear it on my head. So those days were probably very short-lived. So I was never fond of wearing it.
They got better materials today, right? A lighter stuff for the.
It's called CGI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Rose, and what was the thing that made you guys get into acting?
Twinkies for me. You?
I was more of a ding-dong. Wait a minute.
Jesus.
Right.
Wait a second.
Indeed.
he didn't have much recourse.
Yeah, kind of me too. It's something I've always wanted to do. I love the idea that you can be a different person in different jobs and different things and building the character. That's what I loved about it. And the university was for the girls too. They get into the drama club.
Thank you.
We boring you?
She's just going back to her seat.
Oh, you're just going to the top. Oh, never mind.
I've got one for each of you. David, did you actually learn any of the science playing on Atlantis? Chris, I had the opportunity of
Wait, he
listening.
didn't answer yet.
I'm going to ask you 3 questions.
Are we loading up on the
Please. Chris, Terrell, I had the opportunity of listening to Terrell Rotherby, and she said that you taped her to a chair when she was. So I want to hear your reply to what caused you to decide to tape her to a chair. And Richard, back 30 years ago now, for some reason, you rang up New Zealand to talk to a kid who choked on the phone, so didn't actually reply to you when you rang up. And I just want to know if you can remember this. What made you reply to someone in New Zealand for a kid to talk to him who actually choked and wasn't able to reply to you? So, do you remember that?
I'm kind of missing half of what you're saying. It had something to do with me calling a kid?
So, like 30, one of my remembrances of you in MacGyver is that there was this New Zealand kid who just absolutely adored you, and they must have run you and had you on camera to just talk to this kid, give him a surprise, which I thought was really awesome. And the kid was so shocked, he didn't say a word to you. So you were left hanging, trying to say something nice. I just wanted to know what made you decide to do that. For 80 years ago here in New Zealand, no one heard of New Zealand. So.
I'd heard of it. Just happenstance. I'd be honest with you, it was a kid, right? I love kids, they're great. And it didn't matter. I mean, I should say, well, because I have this deep fondness for all things New Zealand. And since this wayward child was from New Zealand, I felt it necessary in my heart to open my heart and bring him in. But it was just an accident, mostly. No, it didn't matter. I mean, it was, he asked, right? Yeah. Someone asked, and so I'm that easy. But thanks for remembering it for me.
Taping Terrell to, well, you guys all know Terrell, right? And she's just boundless energy all the time, which is not so great at 5:45 in the morning. So, oh, lunch truck's here.
That's Terrell calling you right now.
So this one particular day, I was in probably just a state of, no, I could have been hungover, I was probably still drunk. But Terrell had it going like really early in the morning, just bouncing all over the place. And frankly, I had enough. So I asked the grips for some grip tape, and I taped her in her chair, which didn't ironically slow down her mouth at all.
I think she's still there.
And I had it was science. What was the science on set? Yeah. Well, we had a physics consultant that was that worked more with the writers. Yeah, we had a physics consultant too. See?
You had cooling vests and the physics.
Yeah, you guys paved the way, man. Yeah. modern times. But it was, yeah, I mean, it was long chunks of text, but, you know, it was more of the writers, what the writers wrote, you know, and it was our job to make it sound like it was real, you know, science fiction based on science fact. But there's been there were some pretty sketchy bits of science in that. I mean, we all know it's science fiction. We all know that these are stories that we're telling. So why not have fun with it, right?
I always thought you had the best comebacks to McKay's character.
It was well, he's an easy guy to play the foil too. He's thank you.
So wait, you just said some of the science. So you had a physics consultant and didn't use it?
No, she was there. She was there like on the writers usually worked with her, and if we had any questions, she came down. And,
oh, okay.
Yeah. But I mean, when you're doing your lines, you're doing them at home, right? So it's like, I'll just right.
Hi, I'm Peter from Manukau. I'm here with two of my daughters who I brought up as science fiction fans as well.
Awesome.
I've got two questions for you. The first one is, of all the weekly baddies you had to combat, who was the most fun to have as a baddie? Who did you enjoy most combating against?
Oh, Ball. I think Ball. Was that for me, the question?
All three of you, individually.
Ball. Just Ball.
Ever since the accident.
Yes. Got one left. What? He's the only one I can remember. You?
Yeah, it was a toss-up between the one Ball and Apophis. I mean, they both just embodied their. Like Peter Williams would also be Apophis offset, which was disorienting because you could be walking down the street and you would hear, "I am your God." Like, dude, I'm trying my pants. And Cliff, I mean, just the sheer panache and swagger that he brought to Ball, I love
Well, it was McKay, right? There's no other. Yeah, it was with McKay, definitely. Ball.
And another quick question, would you guys be up to cameoing in a reboot or whatever of Stargate?
A cameo? I want to roll. My daughter says it's okay for me to go back to work now. Because I didn't tell her. It was obvious that I had left Stargate prematurely and went down so I could kind of be a presence in her life. And I haven't worked since. And I love it. I miss him too. Yes, thank you. There's one of you. Talking about legend.
Hello. Hi.
Did you just apologize for preparing to ask a question?
So Richard and Christopher and David. Wow.
Thank you.
So, can I ask you questions? Okay. So Richard, what was it like handing over to the character of Cameron Mitchell and John Shepherd? So what was it like? Because you were like the front team leader, and then it turned into them for later season in Stargate Atlantis. What was it like, sort of seeing them in the role that you sort of was in?
Well, they were different characters.
Yeah,
right?
but I mean the team leader role.
Well, Ben Browder took my spot, my slot. Well, and I left the show. It was you know, fine. Life goes on. So I didn't feel any animosity or anything. They weren't as good, but I'm just saying.
Don't get me started.
How'd you get along with Joe?
Next question.
Yeah.
So,
Rest my case.
well, so Christopher,
Yes.
I'm wondering, especially at the start of the series, it was.
What was it like for me to turn over the kind of alien role to Jason Momoa, and then he goes on to Game of Thrones, and now he's Aquaman?
I was wondering, at the start of the series, you was, what was it like? Because it seemed like there was some not much racial diversity on the show, and you seemed to be a lot of it.
The black guy?
Yeah. Yeah. So
You know, a lot of the lack of racial diversity, especially in extras, is just kind of where we shot. There's just not a whole lot of black folk in Vancouver, Canada. But the one time that it really did bug me, and Rick actually addressed it, we were in about 6 episodes in or so, and really, Peter Williams and I had been kind of the only black people on the show. And we did a storyline involving a prison. All of a sudden, there's 30 black dudes in the prison. I'm like, wait a minute, even in space? So I went to Rick, and I was like, Rick, man, this is stupid. You know, I hadn't seen any other, then all of a sudden we do one prison thing and everybody's black. So Rick actually called John at the time and then rectified it. So there was 30 black guys and 2 white guys. Perfect! That's not true. They made it a very even mix, and that was thanks to Rick.
You know, when Atlanta started up, it was supposed to be an international team too, and I thought, well, this is great. This would be an opportunity to be an international, a diverse team, and that also didn't really come to fruition that much either.
And in terms of Atlantis, probably the best episodes of Atlantis were when they were centered around the science and Rodney McKay versus Dr. Zelinka, and so what was it like when you had a role where you turned out better than McKay? Because it was sort of like whenever Zelinka beat Rodney at his own game, there was always cheering around the TV.
It's the dynamic that they set up. You know, if we were friends, it wouldn't have been as interesting. The fact that we were at opposites and that there was a dynamic between it, I think it's what made it much more dramatic and interesting. If we were friends, it wouldn't have had the same kind of tone. So I think it was a better thing that it happened that way.
Yeah. And congratulations on getting into awesome TV shows after Stargate, because I don't think the other two on the
Yeah, what you guys been doing?
I'll give you a call in November.
I'm raising a daughter.
Take it away.
So, no pressure, better be good.
Oh, make it good. First of all, Richard, my mum, who you met at the photo shoot this morning,
It's not her
biggest fangirl. She's here, it was despite the fact that she's literally afraid of crowds just to see you, so. She's back third row there, waving at you there.
Raise your hand. Not all of you.
We'll be at your signing this afternoon, so you can give her another big hug. Yes.
Later? Yeah.
But this is a question mainly for Chris, but for all three of you as well. The language that you spoke for your alien character and then for your personal character, was it hard to learn, or did you learn it as a thing? Or was it just read the script and go with it?
It really was. At first, they tried to make kind of a language where the words were very percussive and short, and then it kind of got to the point where they just threw a bunch of consonants together.
So basically it turned into gibberish.
Well, it would be, like, I'll give you a specific example, the Zanukatels. When I first saw it literally had no vowels. So I went up to Jonathan Glasser's office and I said, how do you pronounce this? And he said, I don't know, you're the alien.
Ouch.
So that's kind of how a lot of that language evolved.
So there was no backstage talking in the language, behind other people's back doing some dirty stuff, or, nothing like that?
No.
You're disappointing me, man. Come on.
We had a couple of Spanish guys that used to speak Spanish. Same deal.
It's same deal, but alien language is a lot better,
But truly, in the beginning, they really did, I think it was a dead dialect of Sumerian. And because Jaffa is actually the Egyptian word for midwifery, as in carrying the symbiote. So they really did try to base it in something, but I think it just got too time.
Butchered in the end.
And so it was just like, shit, let's just put some consonants together. He'll figure it out. He's drunk, he won't know.
Probably drunk language then.
All right, Manukau,